So a lot of artists and creatives struggle with finding forms of income to support themselves. So I want to just give you a rundown of the 4 income streams for any artist. And this goes way back to, Shakespeare's time. If you're an artist, dancer, painter, musician, it's all the same business model. And so it comes down to 4 things. One is you have to get gigs, you have to get performances. Every artist and creative wants to have performances. And so that just comes down to networking, getting to know people who are tastemakers and have events that you want to be at, and just be their friends. They just want to get loved on, they want to get served. You just want to do a professional job, show up on time. A big thing with me is making sure that you don't take longer on your set than is allotted. And it's a very courteous thing to stick to the slot that you've been given. Okay, so that's gigs. 2, actually I should also mention about gigs is once you've done a gig, always be sure to get a recommendation from the person who brought you in and say, hey, would you be willing to recommend me to a couple other places? Or at the very least, just get a testimonial from that person who booked you. Always great things to have in your back pocket. But if you can get those referrals for future gigs to other venues or other promoters, then your booking list can grow exponentially. All right, so that's gigs. 2 is products. So you're always going to have products to sell. So obviously, if you're like a painter, that's an easy one. You'll have paintings. If you're a musician, this is a little more difficult in today's age because it's not about selling products anymore. It's about clocking streams. And so that can come from YouTube, Spotify, of course, Apple Music, etc. Any digital outlet, you want to be racking up streams. And so really it comes down to just exposure, playing more gigs, being visible on your social media, and really day after day just pumping out content. Could be from music videos to just chats with fans, doing cover tunes on YouTube, etc. All that stuff is going to generate more interest in your music and will generate more spins. All right, the 3rd form of income is sponsorships. And this is one that a lot of creatives overlook. And some creatives are good at different income streams than others. So this is one that often doesn't get enough attention. So sponsorships are when some business, individual, or company has interest in the people that you as an artist are reaching. So they may say, hey, we know that Taylor Swift fans are young, female, and love pop music. And so then a company like, a car company or somebody like that would come alongside and say, hey, Taylor Swift, we want to put money down to help you go on tour. And then we want to showcase our car, outside at all your concerts, okay? So that would be more of a sponsorship. The way that could happen for indie artists is it could be through local businesses showing up and providing food at an event, or handing out free coupons at your concert, or discount coupons or something or discount codes that people can redeem on a website. And actually, that's a really great idea, because if you can actually prove to a business that you're actually giving them referrals through a referral code, like on their website, then they'll be back to do more deals with you. And in fact, one artist asked me a while back, they're like, I want to get signed. And I was like, well, why do you want to get signed to a record label? And they were like, well, because I'm going to be able to get money for touring. And this artist had just been added to one of Spotify's main playlists. And I was thinking, and they had like millions of spins through Spotify. And I said, do you know the person who's at Spotify and who actually put you on this list? And they were like, yes. And I said, well, what we should do is see if we can get a referral code from Spotify so that we can sell Spotify paid subscriptions. And if we can go back to Spotify and show that we've been doing referrals for them and actually signing up fans for paid subscriptions, then they may be willing to do more with you in the future. So that is an example of a sponsorship as well. So don't overlook those opportunities. They come in many, many different forms. All right. And then the fourth type of income is patrons. And this has been a little bit more popular recently as the website patreon.com has come online. A lot of people who are doing podcasts or YouTube channels are taking advantage of Patreon. But there's other ways that can happen too. I've been part of many gigs with musicians where somebody will just walk up to the table after a performance or after a gig, and they'll just say, you know what, here's $20. I just really love what this artist is doing. You can just keep the money and just make sure they're continuing to do great things. And so that's a wonderful thing to continue to promote and just say, hey, you know what, I need your help. I need you, the fans. If you want me to keep doing this, if you want me to have a team behind me, then I want you to give, and we can keep doing this. And then you can reward those people, put them on a special part on your mailing list, or even actually, I would even advise getting their phone numbers and just calling them every so often. I mean, that list of people, that list of patrons is going to be pretty small, even for a lot of YouTube channel people or whatever. Like, still, that's a pretty short list. And like, say it's 100 people or fewer, like, you want to call and really give them a personal touch and say, hey, how's it going? Is there a way I could help you or mention you on my channel? Or maybe I could tell a story in one of my songs about things that you're going through. And that's just a great high touch way of keeping in touch with fans, rewarding people for being part of your journey. So anyway, so that's the 4 income streams: gigs, products, sponsorships, and patrons. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you next time.